So now that you know that the right person is one who engineers, participates, manages, and navigates well, the next question is, what is the right thing to do in any situation in order to continue moving towards your goal, however far, near or far it might be in the future, while also maintaining the kind of environment and circumstances necessary to keep you functioning at your best. So, the right thing to do is to use the situational, transformation, and resiliency skills, also known as life construction and impact management skills, that I've talked about, as well as using virtue ethics. And those are going to be kind of mixed together in what I call virtue pairs. There's a really great website out there called virtuescience.com, and a guy named James Barton that did a lot of work with virtue pairs and inspired me to do some of my own work on that and to plug those into creating well-being in your circumstances. And so if you become a member of the Hero Support Network, we'll be able to talk more about that. And in several of the following videos, I'll show you how to use virtue and the impact management skills to build and sustain these life success systems. But first and foremost, what are we going to be doing? What are we going to be targeting our efforts at? Well, the first thing is we're going to be working to act towards the environment, and second, towards the people in those environments, right? Or maybe we'll do both at the same time once you get really good at it. Excuse me. So the environment is, by environment, I mean the psychosocial environment, what you might have referred to in the past as the atmosphere in the room. Some people you might have heard say, boy, you could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Do not go in there. There's somebody getting in trouble or something, right? And the reason you can say that is because you can recognize that there's an environment kind of up here between people, right? And you can feel it, right, with your feeling senses and your intuition and your perceptions when you are open and connected to your environment. That's one of the reasons that's so important, to be open. So when you target the psychosocial environment, the way you do that is by acting in a way that will cultivate what I call nutrient-rich content. And that means precisely those actual little things like seeds that you're going to put into the environment, which is kind of like the soil, right? And anyone who walks in the room will be able to recognize that that nutrient-rich content is there, right? That what you've cultivated is there. They can feel it, and you'll notice that they start to put their wall down. They start to relax. They open up. They start to express themselves when they're around you. And the reason is because you have created the kind of system in which they can finally be at peace and be themselves and start to really do well. So the first thing you're going to do is target the environment. The next thing you're going to do is target people and your relationships. And the way you're going to do that is by relating with others in a way that is open, honest, direct, and vulnerable, right? You're going to be willing to express yourself in a way that shares with them who you really are, what you really think, what you really feel, what you really want, what you really desire, what you really need. You're not going to hide it behind pretense and deception. You're going to be honest, especially when it's awkward. Because if you don't do that, you're going to go home and you're going to regret it. You're going to resent yourself for not being real, for not being transparent, right? For example. And then that can lead to all sorts of toxic behaviors like drinking and drugging and distracting yourself with other things. And finally, you're going to be targeting people by trying to keep people in your life who are supportive of this wheel of well-being that I'm going to talk about, and trying to keep people out that are antagonistic of well-being, because those are people who are working not only against you and others, but against themselves. And that's a big problem that you don't need. You don't need people around who are so out of line with the larger agenda of life and aliveness that they're actually creating the very problems that are plaguing them in their life, right?